Hey there, welcome to Women Blazing Trails. My name is Eva. I have I have something pretty serious to talk about today. I haven't been here in a couple of weeks, sorry about that. This is October the 2nd on the day that I'm recording this video, and last month I turned 60, and it still kind of freaks me out like when I actually hear myself say I turned 60 last month, or I'm 60 years old now. It's kind of weird. And I remember, and I just wrote a blog about this over on Medium, and I'll drop the link to that down below. I remember when I turned 50 and like that whole next day and the couple of days after that, probably a week after I turned 50, I remember being depressed and feeling sorry for myself and thinking, "Oh my God, this is the end of the world. I'm old now. Everything's just going to all go downhill from here." And I was in a horrible relationship. I mean, my life was shit. Everything was really bad. And for me, I thought 50 was just the tipping point, and then it was just all downhill from there. But what happened was the complete opposite. I totally and completely reinvented my life at 50. I started at 51, and at 52, I just made landslides, huge leaps and bounds in changing my life. And that whole decade, the 50s was it was really eye-opening for me. I learned a lot of things about myself. I learned a lot of things about other people. I learned a lot of things about life. Like I find that in your 50s, I don't know if you guys are, maybe you women who are watching this are feeling this right now, or maybe you're starting to feel this, but I found that in my 50s, shit got different. Like shit, everything just felt different and real. And it felt like if I had a purpose, like my purpose really fucking meant something. You know what I mean? Like it felt like, okay, now I got it. I know what I'm here for. I know what I got to do. This is my life. What do I got to do to make it like the best ever, right? So that's how my 50s were. And then I got to 60, and it's funny because my friends had an amazing party for me. Everybody had a really, really good time. You know, I didn't get drunk. I had all my wits about me, smoked a little bit of weed, had some, you know, it was just a really cool, chill, fun party. Complete reverse of my 50th. My 50th birthday party, I was completely like obliterated drunk. I sure I had alcohol poisoning. I was sick the next day, like the entire next day. All I did was throw up. It was horrible. Like start going into my 50s, it was just horrible. But my 50s weren't horrible. So my 60s, so the day after my 60th birthday party, I got home and I just sat alone and, did some reflection, did some journaling. And in that moment right there, while I was alone and I realized that I'm 60 now, I felt really sad. Like I felt like this overwhelming grief just wash over me for, it was just a minute. And I thought, oh, it was kind of like, I don't know if you guys feel like this sometimes, if you have turned 60, or even if you turned 55 or whatever. For me, I had like this feeling of anxiety and a little bit of nausea and a feeling like I almost felt, and I hate to sound like depressing and stuff, but I felt like it was doom and gloom for me. Like I thought, okay, you know what, girl? Now you're 60. So this is all the shit you did in your 50s. You aren't anywhere near reaching any of the goals that you set out for yourself in your 50s. I mean, I reached some goals, obviously. I left my relationship, I moved out of my country, I became self employed, I run a fairly successful online business. I mean, I did reach some goals. I'm not saying that my 50s was fun, but it was a complete waste. I didn't do anything. I achieved a lot of my goals, but there's still so much more that I want to do. And here I am at 60, and I felt that anxiety like, oh my God, I haven't fucking done this yet. Like I still haven't done that. And I still want to do this. And I felt like my clock was ticking really fast. Like really fast. I felt this wave of grief, this wave of anxiety, this wave of sadness, and I almost felt like a wave of like desperation, like, oh my God, what am I going to do? Like, I'm 60, I'm going to die soon, right? So I'm finding out that because my birthday was actually on September 25th. So I've been 60 now for like a week. I think like a week today, I've been 60. So I feel sometimes like, well, Eva, you're already 60. What are you going to do now? You don't know how much time you have left. You could have a heart attack tomorrow. You could live till you're 100. Like you have no idea, but you're getting near that time where, people have heart attacks and drop dead. People have strokes. Shit happens, where moving into my 60s now. So it made me realize, and I'm still very healthy, quitting smoking. Remember, I quit smoking. It's almost 2 years now. I quit smoking, taking really good care of myself. But it made me realize that I don't want to say that I've been wasting time, but I've been living, I feel, let me see if this resonates with some of you guys. I feel that still sometimes I operate from a place of self-doubt. I can't do that. It's too scary. That's not going to work. I don't think it's going to happen. Who am I to do that? Who am I to take on this big project? So I still have all those feelings of I'm not good enough. I have fuzz on my lips. I'm not good enough. I'm too dumb. That goal or that dream or whatever is way too big for me. I'll never achieve it. I still have those feelings of lack of self-worth, low self-esteem, low self-confidence. I still battle those things. Courage, for a lack of better term, lack of courage, like, like sometimes when you're about to do something and you're like, yeah, I fucking got this, and you do it and you feel like a champion and you did it and you feel like you're amazing. And then, because you're all courageous, right? You're all, I can do this, and you do it, and you're all puffy, your chest is all puffy and you feel courageous. I feel like that, a lack of courage in that context. I have like this lack of courage, lack of self-confidence. But turning 60 really opened my eyes to a lot of things. We're gonna get to the good part. We're gonna get to the good stuff now. So turning 60 really made me stop and think, okay, you know what? You're 60 now. So for the 50s, you did all this really cool and amazing shit, and you pushed limits, and you overstepped boundaries, and you busted down walls, and look at all the amazing shit you did when you were in your 50s. Imagine what you can do now that you're in your 60s. Can you imagine what you can do now? The sky's the limit now. And the sky's always been the limit. But when you get to 60, it's really eye-opening. Like you really realize that the sky is the limit. And on the flip side of that, and this is kind of weird, on the flip side of that, you realize the sky is the limit and you're running out of time. So you got these two things playing against each other, if you will. The sky's the limit. You can do whatever the fuck you want. You go, girl. You got this. And then you got your clock going, tick, 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 tick. The sky's the limit. Tick, tick, tick. By the way, tick, tick, tick. You're 60 now. Tick, tick, tick. So it's kind of like opposing forces that just, for me, just drive me even harder. So I know what I want to do in my 60s. My biggest goal right now, and I'm super confident that I am going to achieve it. Every now and then self-doubt creeps in, and I'm just like, no, I ain't got time for that. So my biggest goal right now is to find a piece of property here, piece of land, build a dog sanctuary, and all the dogs that are sick or dying or strays that need homes or whatever, they can all just come and live at Eva Sanctuary, and they'll get food and love and all that good stuff, and they'll just live out their days happily, joyfully until they die. That's my big goal, is to open up a dog sanctuary here, and I'm confident that I will. So that's my driving force right now. And I think the reason why I'm talking about, you're probably wondering why, oh, you like, why are you sharing all this and what's the big deal? Is because if you are feeling sad, anxious, frustrated, full of anxiety, maybe even a little bit of helplessness or despair, if you will, feeling lonely, feeling like worthless, feeling unworthy, feeling like just really low vibing energy, like toxic, not feeling good about yourself. I want you to think about one or two or three things, or however many things. But really just narrow into one or two things that really bring you joy. What are the one or two things that you love doing that maybe you're not doing enough of that really bring you joy? And for me, and this is kind of funny because I've known this for a while, but it really flipped that switch the other day. It was probably about 2 or 3 weeks ago. I was feeling pretty down. I woke up kind of sad. I knew 60 was approaching. I knew I wasn't going to see my son for my birthday this year. I just had some really sad, depressing, if you will, thoughts, and I didn't feel like working. I didn't feel like doing it. I couldn't write. I couldn't create. I couldn't do anything. So I got on my scooter and I went out. And on one of the streets that I drive on is one of the street dogs that I love and adore. So I stopped to see him. And I sat with him and pet him. And honest to God, like in 30 seconds, I was like, okay, I feel better now. Like just petting that dog brought me such immense joy that it was that was like my defining moment that made me realize this is what brings me joy. This right here, this whole dog connection, this just being with this furry being that doesn't have a care in the world right now. He's just sleeping in the sun, minding his own business. Here comes a human. I love this human. She's petting me. In that moment right there, my heart was full, and I knew that that was going to be my driving force moving forward. Every time I felt sad, all I needed to do is just go pet a dog. And not only that, but being with that dog in particular and around dogs just reminds me that I have a really big job to do, really a purpose, if you will. And I hate to use the term purpose because people throw that around like it's a fucking pair of socks or something. But in that moment, that's when I realized that that's my purpose, and that is why for the next decade of my life, that's my driving force. So I want you to find, when you're feeling down, I want you to think, right, maybe get a piece of paper if you have to. Get a piece of paper and write out a list, write out a list of 5 things, even 5 things, just things that really bring you joy. And it could be knitting, it could be spending time with your grandchildren, I don't know what it is. It could be anything. For me, it's petting dogs. That's what brings me joy, petting dogs. And with that, so hear me out, listen to this. So in that petting dogs and playing with puppies and petting dogs, knowing that that's what brings me joy, I took that 10 steps further. How can I take this little thing, this tiny little thing that fills my heart so much? How can I make this big and more of it into my life? What can I do? How much further can I go with this? That's going to just it's just going to make my heart explode. Like, where can I go with this little thing that brings me joy? So that's what I'm trying to get to, the message that I'm trying to share with you. If you're feeling worthless and helpless and here I am, I'm 60, I got nothing left to live for, blah, blah, blah. I hate when people say that. I have nothing left to live for. The life that you have now is you've created, and I hate saying this because people get mad at me when I say this, but where you are right now, all your actions and everything that you've decided to do has got you to where you are today. So you have created the life that you are living right now. So sorry, not sorry. I know it's a hard pill to swallow, but if that's not where you want to be and it doesn't bring you joy and you don't like it and you're unhappy, blah, 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 you can turn the page and rewrite that story any way you can. You are holding the pen. It's your life. You get to write the next chapter and you get to finish the story. You get to do that. I don't know how many times I can say that, but you get to do that. So if you're sad or depressed or feeling lonely or whatever, turn the page, get a clean sheet and write the chapter, write the next chapter of the story the way you want it to look. So you don't have to stay sad and lonely and depressed and all of that stuff. And I'm gonna drop some links down below. I wrote some really, really good blogs over on my website in the past little while about being lonely, about aging, about midlife, like a lot anxiety. I wrote a lot of really good blogs about that. So I'm going to drop them all down below, and I want you to bookmark them, go there, bookmark them, share them, read them when you have time. But they're really, really good, and I think you're going to really like them. So anyway, happy 60th birthday to Eva. Yay. And listen, if you're feeling sad, and I just want to end on this note, if you are feeling sad about turning 60 or 55 or 50 or however old, 70, I don't know how old you turned, if you're feeling sad about it, it's okay. Listen, it's okay to feel sad about turning whatever age you turned. Like, it's totally okay because we're getting older. Everybody can say, oh, you're still young and it doesn't matter. We're still fucking getting older. And to be perfectly honest, I kind of hate when people do that. Oh, you're still young, or oh, you're not this, or oh, you don't look. I don't care. The fact of the matter is I'm 60, in 10 years I'm going to be 70, and then I'm going to be 80. I'm not getting younger. I am getting older. That's the fact of the matter. Don't tell me I look 25. I don't care. I'm 60 years old and I'm getting older. That's fact, Jack. That's it. That's all. But the thing is that when you start feeling sad about your age or anything, it's okay. I want to let you know that it's okay to feel those feels. That's sad. Have a little pity party. I had a pity party when I turned 60. Like, I really fucking felt sorry for myself. And I had a little pity party, and that's okay, whatever. I cried in my coffee and I curled up in my bed that day. It doesn't matter. What matters is that you don't stay there. So it's okay to set up a temporary residence in that whole pity party. But temporary is the key word here. Feel the feels, but make sure it's temporary. You can't stay there. It's not a permanent home. I don't want you to lay down the foundation and set up camp there and then you have this home. I don't want you to stay in that sad place. It's a temporary residence. You feel the feels, acknowledge them, and then just watch them go. Like, let them go. Go, you know what? That's not who I am. Not today. I'm not going to let all these sad feelings consume my day today and tomorrow and the next day. You have to let them go. That is so super important. And that's, if there was one message that I really wanted to drive home that's really important, is it's okay to feel the feels, but don't hang on to them so tight that you get to a point where you can't let them go. You need to let them go. You can't, because they'll suck you into a dark hole, and getting out of that dark hole is really fucking hard. It really is. So feel them, acknowledge them, recognize them, journal on them if you have to, write about them, and then let them go. You need to let them go. You do. Like, you just do. I don't want you to drag yesterday's dark day into today and then drag that all through today and then into tomorrow. No. Please don't do that. We're not here for that. We are here for joy, and we are here to live the best life we can possibly create for ourselves. We are. So I'm going to try. I hope this message resonated with some of you. If you're having a birthday in this, happy birthday, Libra. Don't forget, I'm going to drop some links down below. Please check out the links down below. I'm going to drop the link also to my to some courses that I have. Oh, before I go, one of my courses, which is a freaking awesome course, my Cutting Cords of Attachment course, super, super awesome course. It's only $97, but only until October 14th, you'll get 1 hour of free coaching with me, which is actually worth $250. So that's a pretty good deal. So, and we can accomplish a lot in 1 hour. Like, we can knock out a strategy plan. We can do a lot of shit in 1 hour. So that course is $97. Only so it's always $97, but just from October 1st to October 14th, you get 1 hour free coaching. So I'm going to drop that link down below as well. Links to some blogs. I hope this message resonated with you. Thank you always for being here. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share. Sharing is caring. That's how YouTube. That's YouTube. That's your signal to YouTube that lets YouTube know that this is a valuable video and more people should see it. So please, sharing really is caring and it helps my channel grow. So I love you. I hope you all enjoyed this video and I will catch you all back on the next video. Goodbye from sunny Guatemala.